Religion is decreasing globally, and all of this ties together. Many of the things that I talk about are globally happening because religion and the patriarchy are finally waning. The grip of religion is finally loosening. This article from Axios is titled The World's Departure from Organized Religion. Let's get into this one. There's a global, fast growing population of people without a religion. Why it matters. Religion has been a powerful force in society, touching politics, art, and daily life. The rise of non believers and people with no religious affiliation is diminishing its influence. And why it matters as well is because it ties into how many of us live our day to day lives and how we structure our lives going forward. If there are no parents taking their kids to church, that is going to impact the next generation. I am a religious nun. I am agnostic and do not believe in organized religion. You guys should know that my children are also religious nuns. They know nothing about religion. So I know that there are more and more parents like me because we talk about it on my social medias. But stay in this article. By the numbers, 3 in 10 US adults said they have no religious affiliation. About half of them identify as atheist or agnostic. Those are two different terms with two different meanings. I know some people like to lump us all in the same thing. And the other half say their religion is nothing in particular. So they're kind of waffling. The shift away from religion is even starker among younger adults, with 43% of 18 to 29-year-old Americans responding with none when asked what religion they follow. That is going to be huge because those are the people that will be having the next set of humans if they decide to be parents. Fewer than 20% of US adults over 60 are nuns. So the majority of older folks have religion. That is just going to show you where the shift is happening. The trend is gaining momentum across the world. AP reports from several countries. In Japan, 70% of people in Japan say they have non religious feelings. This one's big. Nearly 80% of Italians say they are Catholic, but most view it as a tradition, with fewer than 20% attending weekly service. I was just reading another article. Y'all know I stay in reading news, but I was reading another article where Italy is grappling about their demographics decline and their birth rate decline. And they're having some kind of ideological fight because some people want to keep Italy Italian without the browning, I'll say it like that, the browning of their country. But then also there are people who are just staunchly trying to make women do what they want to do. So they don't want to increase their population by allowing people to come in, but the women are like, no, no, no. So the birth rate in Italy has dropped to like 1.2 per woman. So that's just a bit of an aside. I will probably dive deeper into Italy later on, maybe next week. This one's interesting. In Israel, just 33% of their population say they actually practice their traditional religious worship. That is very interesting to me. 33% say they practice traditional religious worship. Okay, so let's move into India and Nigeria. This was interesting for me as well. They said, yes, but public rejection of religion is harder for non believers in many other countries. In India, which has a long history of non religious movements, most atheists keep quiet about religion. In some areas like northern Nigeria, it can even be risky and even dangerous to be publicly atheist or agnostic. The cool thing about these two, they had hyperlinks to click into. So let's explore those a little bit more. I'll explore it a little bit more after I finish this. The bottom line, organized religion remains a key source of community for many Americans, with 2/3 of US adults identifying as Christian. As recently as the 1990s, that share was 90%. But where this is differing is the younger generation is shifting away. And you can tell that this is going to be a changing piece of where society is moving to. Now, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in Nigeria. An atheist in northern Nigeria was arrested, then the attacks against the others worsened. So this article is going to be talking to some people who are giving anonymous accounts. Okay, so when the megaphone called out for daily Islamic prayers, the non believer grabbed his prayer beads and ambled through the streets to join the others at the mosque. So this person is faking the funk because he has no choice. Formerly a Muslim, he now identifies as atheist but remains closeted, performing religious obligations only as a cover. To survive as an atheist, you cannot act like one. He said he narrowly escaped being unalived by a mob in 2015 after some people found out that he had forsaken Islam. If I ever come out in northern Nigeria to say I'm an atheist, it will be an automatic death sentence. In parts of the world, the religiously unaffiliated are on the rise and can safely and publicly be a none, someone who identifies as atheist or agnostic or nothing in particular. In countries like Nigeria, the situation is starkly different. This person says Bala's imprisonment rolled our movement underground. Leo Igwe, a founder of the Humanist Association, said of the group's leader, who in 2022 was jailed for 24 years. A court convicted him on an 18-count charge for blaspheming Islam and breach of public peace through his post on Facebook. So it is dangerous, and you could lose your freedom because you don't choose a religion. So it is definitely understandable why some people choose to keep it anonymous and be publicly whatever the majority religion is in public, but in private, actually have your own thoughts and feelings. Okay, so what is cut off? It says Nigeria does have freedom of religion and expression, but activists say threats to religious freedom are common, especially in the north. Almost half of the countries in Africa, including Nigeria, have statutes outlawing blasphemy. In most secular courts in Nigeria, the stiffest penalty for blasphemy charge is 2 years in prison, while it carries an unaliving penalty in the country's Islamic courts, active in the majority Muslim north. So this is the reason why people just stay quiet. Now let's move into India. Non-religious struggle to find their voice and place in Indian society and politics. Despite India's millennia-old history of non-religious movements, most atheists and rationalists choose to keep quiet about their skepticism of faith. It's easier and far less risky than going public in one of the world's most religious countries. Okay, so this article. The space that does exist for debating religious authority and belief is shrinking, says Avinash Patel, a religious skeptic who was born Hindu and is now a leader of the anti-superstition group working in one of the country's western states. He blames the growth of nationwide religious and communal tensions over the last decade, as well as rising Hindu nationalism under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership. When you're open about it and when you're open about it and engage in activism, it can get challenging and even dangerous. In fact, Patel and his organization are still seeking justice for its founder and renowned rationalist Narendra Dabholkar, who was gunned down during a morning walk in Pune 10 years ago. Patel helped organize vigils and rallies for Dabholkar in Mumbai and Pune. The murder trial is still ongoing. Known as the Nuns, they are a very small minority among the nation's 1.4 billion people, according to government statistics and independent surveys. They include atheists, agnostics, and culturally religious but not observant. Hindus are the largest religious group in India by far. They comprise about 80% of the population, while Muslims account for 14%. But for governmental issues, for lit life issues, they don't actually have forms where you can choose to be religious nuns. So people, just to expedite things and finish up paperwork, they just choose a religion. You guys can finish reading this page because my time is about to run out on this video. So go ahead and read this page and you can finish up with this page. However, what I want to end with is that global things are changing because religion is decreasing, and that means that the patriarchy is definitely decreasing. So we're probably going to continue to see the declines in births and marriages. Y'all jump in the comments and let me know what you think. Like, comment, share.